Right, welcome back. Another episode down. What are we up to now? Is this 12 or 13?
I think this is 12, yeah? Episode 12.
Yeah, we're almost into the unlucky number. That might be the week that Tony shows his face back around these parts again. Unlucky for some.
I was talking to Tony yesterday. He's going to he'll be in Marbella today. That's them away for warm weather, jammy sod. So
I'm going on holiday in a couple of weeks actually, so I'll be doing my warm weather training. Except I won't be training. I won't be doing any exercise. My training will be get my beer tolerance back up for next season. The next round of gigs when all the universities
get ready for London.
Yeah. Mate, I wanted to kick off, right? We've just been talking a little bit off air, but for all the listeners and viewers on YouTube, do give us a subscribe or a like wherever you're listening. I must remember to get that in there as well. But Quinny and I have just been sat here and we were having a little talk about some of the players we bought. Obviously, we're getting closer and edging ever closer to the beginning of the season again. And we've got each other's galleries up because I've just been having a little look at what Quinny's been buying here. And I want to pick your brain on some of your purchases here because you've been pretty active in the market the last couple of weeks. Especially, you've got a lot of limiteds there, and you've also picked up some nice rares as well. So I just wanted to pick your brain on some of your purchases over the last month. Obviously, you've got your Celtics in there as well. You've got some New York City. I'm imagining some of them will be more from the collector's standpoint, but you do have some interesting purchases here. Do you want to talk us through a little bit about this Matías Galaza, Argentinos? He's your most recent. Looks like you bought him yesterday, limited. What was your thinking behind that one? What was that one bought for?
Oh, actually, do you know, it's really funny. So I was doing a member stream and we were talking about underdog cards that are L15 under 40 for specialists. And I picked up recently a guy called Thiago Nunes who plays for Argentinos and he fits the criteria. And that guy got recommended to me. Now, he's under 23 as well. Scores are all pretty A-okay, right? But I thought, I've actually just looked at him. I paid 16 quid for him. See, as it all happened on the stream, I don't know how, but I could have swore that I'd messed up somehow and I'd bought him for 30 quid. But I'm just looking at him now. Thank God that I have actually bought him
on your side, mate. You've got that extra 14 quid in the kitty.
Yeah, because everyone was slagging me in the chat, and this is another thing, by the way. Everyone was slagging me in the chat, and I was listening to, by the way, which was a stellar episode of the Sorare Data podcast, the Sorare Data Andrews this week with Sam Tighe, and do you know, I watched it live, Stish, right? And I don't know how, but I must have missed the first 15 seconds, and they call me a whale in the first 15 seconds of that, and then in that chat when I'd maybe accidentally bought Galaraza here for double the price, basically. Everyone was saying, oh, whale problems. I don't know why people think I'm a whale. My wallet is tiny. I'm not flushing about with tons of money here. So I was getting it tight for it, and I was thinking, oh my God, I hope to God this works out because I've just paid double for a guy, and it's just horrible for the sheet, to pick up a 15 quid guy for 30 quid. But it actually turns out. So he's young, 19, the floor's really low. He's under 40 already on his L15. It can't really get much worse if he's playing football. So we'll plug him in for specialist with Magno. And so what I'm doing is I'm playing him along with that Noose guy, because the thing I'm trying to work out with specialist, right, is a tactic, is I've got both those guys really coincidentally, both play for Argentinos Juniors, ultra coincidentally are both U23. And, they're in the same team. So with specialists, you can't play more than 2 cards from the one team, right?
Yep.
So they go in as 2 cards together. But then I'm pairing them up with Stefan Fry and Yaimar Gomez Andrade as 2 cards from Seattle as the defense.
So you've got half a stack, kind of like a sandwich stack. You got the 2 bits of bread and the little one in the middle from another team.
Do you know what? Do you know what the last card is? I love that you call that a sandwich. By the way, that's lovely.
That's
Talis Magno.
Talis Magno. Well, that's a great bit of meat to have in the sandwich, isn't it? Really.
There's a quote for Twitter.
Oh, I'm going to get cancelled for that one, I think. I like that. I've never thought about that, but that is a good little strategy actually for underdog or for specialist if you can get into into like almost like the semi-stack sandwich stack, as we're gonna now coin it. That's a good idea. I've never thought about doing that. I don't think I've ever had like the cards that I could plug into a lineup that would work like that. But have you been looking ahead at some of the other specialists? I know we've got the over 32 and the under 23 specialists coming up. Is it next week or a week after? It's soon, isn't it? I mean, it's hard to
Yeah,
look too far ahead because those L15s can change over the next couple of games. So you can only speculate on where some of these players might be in a couple of weeks. But I'm quite intrigued by those two competitions because I see that the announcement mentioned that the prizes are going to be DMPs, but it doesn't say like how good those DMPs are. They might be completely useless, but they might be Florian Wirtz, it might be Chiesa, it could be some really good cards who don't normally land in the pools because they've been out long-term injuries. So I'm waiting to see what the prize pools are going to be like for that, but it has got me thinking a little bit about what I might be able to enter. Been having a look at potential lineups for those underdog. It'd be interesting to see if the over 32 pool only has players over 32 who are also DMPs in it, because that's about as
yeah. I don't
useless as
think
it
it
gets.
will.
Surely not, right? It will just be people who are DMP, right?
That's
And
pointless.
I
Yeah,
guess this is like
I
their
think.
way of getting those back in the pool as well, right? Because they've got so many cards that they don't give away at the moment, and probably don't push through the auctions as much either. So this is a good opportunity for them to like make use of some of those players who they probably got like 30 or 40 mints left of before the season starts again. So it'd be interesting to see those pools because I've got high hopes. I'm hoping to see
Yeah,
some big stars in there, and yeah,
I
probably
think
like
you'll see it probably like maybe across the top 20. There'll only be like 4 players paid out probably. You
true,
know,
yeah,
that's the kind of thing I think we'll get. So like it might not be in like the top 5 get Wirtz and then the next 10 get Gio Reyna, then the next 5 get this and get that, whatever. But I think they'll probably just scattergun all the stars, all the top 20, 25, whatever. There's 6 Wirtzes between these and 6 of this and 6 of that
mm.
or whatever.
That'd be cool as
Um,
well though, because then you've got more of a clearer idea of what you might actually win, rather than like like
mhm.
the value can fluctuate so wildly between the sort of top 10, 20 cards. But if you've got 5 of the same player in the top 5 or something like that, like if your top 5 was a guaranteed vert, I think you get a lot of action on those
Yeah,
tournaments. Looking at like the tournaments
all
coming up this
speculation.
weekend. Yeah, exactly. We don't know. We'll find
Not
out.
even seen
We'll
the
find
pools
out in
yet.
a few weeks. Yeah, but there's a lot of specialist. The special threekly for the super and the unique this weekend. You getting involved in those?
All my super rares that are playing are midfielders, so I can't play 3 of them.
Oh, yeah.
So
I've got an entry, but it's a weird one because one of my used cards is actually a goalkeeper as it stands at the moment. So I've got Carlos Acevedo, Amir Fernandez, and Gabriel Florentine.
nice.
But I'm not sure if Gabriel Florentine. I keep reading that he's been linked to Russia of all places. Don't know if you've seen this. Gabriel
No,
Florentine at Argentinos has been linked to a Russian team that has been promoted, so like a newly promoted Russian side. So he will be covered, luckily. But there's talk from like proper Twitter accounts with the blue ticks and
yeah.
all sorts, and like journalists out in South America. Apparently, it is as good as done. So I don't even know if he's going to play this weekend. So that's a bit of a hit and hope there. Really, I've got him down as a captain. Sometimes I'll stick a captain on someone that I'm not sure about because if they don't play at all, they've done the lineup anyway. And if they do, he's probably my best shout of a decisive out of the 3 of those. And Acevedo doesn't get too many clean sheets. The last couple of seasons at Santos haven't been as good as they were when I first picked him up. But yeah,
It could happen,
it's
but
nice to see some new game modes. I think and I'm a U23 player. I've got my main lineup this weekend is going to go into D2 U23. It always gets bashed for having like
nice,
poor rewards and that, but as it stands, there's only 36 entrants in that, 12 cards to be won. So a 1 in 3 chance of
nice.
winning something. I'll take that because I've got a unique that I need to use. Lee Bomb back from injury now.
Oh, lovely.
So yeah, hoping for big things there. I'm going to go back to your
That unique
gallery
probably
again.
gives you an incredible advantage over the field. You know, if he does
Exactly, yeah.
start, because he's a power scorer, him. You know,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I haven't got a super rare under 23 goalkeeper that's playing at the moment, so I've had to use the Tanny
who does?
rare. But exactly, that's exactly my thinking. Is like most people won't have a super rare goalkeeper, hence probably why they've not entered that division. If you've got like 2 or 3 super rares, you're probably looking at the Threakley.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was for me like that was the only under 23 keeper I've got as well. So I weren't sure, do I go under 23 rare pro or do I go in there? So I had a little look at some of the recent scores, and I think I haven't had a good game week for ages. Like I've hit some pretty poor scores. I've been like lucky to scrape the ETH rewards a couple of times, but I don't think I'm even going to manage that this week. I think I've got one player left to play in this week's game week in the Chinese Super League tomorrow morning. And he's my captain. So
Nice.
hopefully he can if he can score over 50, I think I'll get like the 0.1. But that's about all I've got to hope for this week. I wanted to get back into your gallery, mate. I've come off the page, but I need to get it
Well,
back
I'm
up
just
because there was
looking.
more.
You won a tier 2 under 23 Stishy boy in game week 282, which was like yesterday. So
Really?
it's not been that bad. Stish. Yeah,
How long ago
Stish.
was
Club
that?
Tropicana,
Yeah, that's
game
me.
week 282. That was like yesterday. Have
What?
you not claimed your rewards?
This is what I'm saying. Hang about. Let me have a look. I won a tier 2. Where have I won
Yep.
it? Where am I?
I won't tell you who it is. I have no idea if he's good or
Maybe if I
not. I'm
refresh
suspecting he
then.
is. Oh no, he's tier 2,
I
maybe
maybe
not.
need to refresh. I don't think I've got it. It's not showing up on my side.
Really?
Yesterday.
How bizarre.
Ah.
It might not be game week 282. I'm being maybe metaphorical here.
I've got a
No,
common
yeah, like
rewards.
three. It's like 3 game weeks ago. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Game
A
week
tier
282
two,
was
was it
a
a
a,
limited?
a Nakano.
Oh yeah, I sold him. There you go. That's why I can't see him. I sold him straight away. Yeah, I mean I
That's
forgot
not
I won
bad. You
that.
finished 20th.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that because he's not in my club. I forgot I won him. But yeah, I mean that would have been a great card to win about 3 weeks prior. But as I hold Sagino as well, who's the number one there. Nakano has been like a calamity when he's been in goal. An under
Oh
23
wow.
goalkeeper is normally not to be sniffed at. And I did have limiteds of him a while back because I think Sorare Japan kind of tipped him to take the number one spot from Sagino. I think it was last season. But then since Sagino got COVID last year and they didn't even put Nakano in, they put in their other keeper. And the only reason he's
Oh
been
yeah.
in is because Sagino and their number 2 got injured. And I think he kept one clean sheet. But yeah, there was some videos of him actually on Twitter this week. How rash he is in goal, like running off his line and stuff like that. His decision making is quite poor. So I just thought while he's still got a score next to his name, I'm putting him on the market. And someone bought him. I don't think I got too much of him, like 0.16 or 0.17, something like that. But I'll take that.
Fair.
That wasn't a bad little amount of ETH to bank off of that one. But yeah, you reminded me of that. I didn't even remember that happened to me. So I have one
And
recently. That
also
makes
you've
me feel a
picked
bit
up
better.
you've picked up a Gurner who I've seen linked
Yes.
to RB Leipzig over the last week or two. I don't think it's Leipzig and 2 other teams are tracking him proper, so I think he's on the move. That's a good
Yeah,
pickup,
there's
I
a
think,
few
for you.
players in that Saint Etienne team I'm surprised haven't had a move just yet. I think he's one of them, obviously, because of his age and he played a fair bit last season. He impressed. Looking at some sort of scouting reports on him as well, and his ball retention, his rate of interceptions and forward passing is right up there. And they were kind of comparing him to Chouameni. His sort of his end sort of final third output is nowhere near what Chouameni's was, which is why he's not close to him on SO5 scoring terms. But if he goes to a team where they play him a little bit further forward up the pitch, then who knows? So it was more like I saw him on the market. I think it was 0.6 I might have put in an offer for, based on what his rare was going for. I think I priced it up off of that and felt that it was a fair offer and it got accepted. And yeah, I think because he's got that red cross next to him, that might also be priced in. I might have got a little bit of a bargain there, hopefully, because if he does move to a half decent side, if he gets in, but even if he doesn't, he's super young. Like he might
Yeah.
go to a bigger side, be loaned out again. Like I don't know, but he is young. He's got years ahead of him, and as someone who just likes a U23 option, especially a super rare, I just saw that as an opportunity. So he's definitely more of like one for the future, I think. Or or even if I wanted to, a quick flip. If he gets a really good transfer, you could probably like return a 0.9 to an ETH on that on the day the news breaks. But I think I'll probably keep hold of him, to be honest. I think I was looking at him maybe a season ago. I had like a mini Saint Etienne stack, and I was looking at potentially adding him to it. But then I ended up getting rid of most of them when it looked like they were going to go down. I had like Maddie Camera and
Bailed.
Harold Moody. I'm surprised that some of those guys haven't moved yet. They obviously got rid of Kazri. Is it Boanga's moved as well, I think? Or is he? No, I think Boanga's still there, isn't he? He's not gone yet.
I'm not sure.
So,
I've not followed Saint Etienne at all, man, to be honest.
yeah, I was because of the Etienne Green. I've been hoping he would get a move, but I think he'll probably stay there now. So I think I'm going to have to sit on his Red Cross for a season, and then hope that we get some new.
Get his move.
Did he get a move?
That's get his move.
I think
Bristol
he moved
City yesterday
permanently, didn't he? But I think he's in League Two still, right?
No, he's Championship now.
Oh, did he? I missed that. Who's he moved to?
I don't know if I'm saying that properly. Bristol City.
Let's have a look. Bristol City. Wow. I haven't even. What's that done for his price? I bet he's gone crazy.
No, probably. I've not checked it either.
Under 23.
Should be Okoye. Yeah, should be like Okoye price, really.
Yeah, I mean, Okoye is like bang on the doors of 2 ETH now, isn't he? 2 or more, maybe. Okay, no. So his last sale, 0.745. But what's his floor price? I bet his floor's crazy. I mean, that'd be a decent little snipe. Pick one of those up. Another little under 23 option. If he plays, I mean, like, who's the number one at Swansea last season?
Bristol City. I
actually remember. Bristol City. Okay, Bristol, not Swansea. Yeah, my internet connection's a bit bad. Yeah, he's down as Bristol City on Sorare already. Can't see what. So his lowest list price is like over an ETH. 1.35 is his floor.
So Bristol City's number one.
Yes, whether or not it'll be number one, isn't it? Because he's a good goalkeeper.
46 games,
Yeah, exactly.
Saturday, Wednesday.
That's it. That was my thinking behind Okoye. I thought if Okoye's going to be number one, I picked him up for I think 1.5, and I also bought Joel Pirot, who plays up front for Swansea, for similar reasons. It's like a U23 with midweek utility, who's not a Champions League rotation. Those players should play most games with a bit of luck. So hoping for big things from them next season.
Do you know what I was saying to Tony? And I'm going to tell you this as well. Another player that's moved to the Championship is Bolingoli from Celtic. He's away to Reading.
Nice.
And when I was talking to Tony, I mentioned that I think he went and picked one up off the market. I thought he knew it. He's got like five of the limiteds already. And we're talking about him and trading and that kind of stuff. And he's like, I didn't even know the move went through. He just had 5 limiteds already. So he's picked up a wee bit of Championship Bolingoli action.
Oh, nice.
Who knows if he'll play? But I think it's the transfer's done. There's a wee Championship kind of cohort.
I think the Championship's good, isn't it? That's one thing about like the Premier League as well. Is like you have less of that worry if your players are gonna go down. It's actually good, isn't it?
Do you know who I'm excited for in the Championship?
Go on.
I've got Snodgrass, and
really?
Snodgrass is like, he's been settled in at Luton. He's done a pre-season, kind of transferred mid-season, got some good scores and some good minutes, and I think Snoddy's going to come good. And I'm trying not to think about him when I'm building squads and trying to lay out like my team and everything, because I think that's just crazy to do that. But I am like in my head thinking I'll get to play him at some point and he'll bang 100.
Yeah, that is a good shout.
Kicks in against Hull or something, 3 assists against Rotherham or whatever.
He's a good player for the Championship, actually. I mean, like I've still been meaning to look. Is Emmanuel Dennis still at Watford? He's another one that could be good next season if
Somebody's
he's
after
still
him,
there.
by the way.
Are they?
Somebody's trying to buy him from Watford. I can't remember who.
That was the one
But
thing that
somebody has
put me
tried
off.
to get him out.
Yeah, when he got relegated, I thought he'll be great in the Championship, but then I thought they're probably not going to hold on to him. He did enough in the Prem last season to warrant a move, I think. But if he does end
Who
up at
was the boy
Watford,
they
he'll
held on
be.
to last time? Has he went somewhere yet?
Well, they
Is it
got
Ismail
another player.
Assar?
They got that Imran Loser, haven't they? Is he still there? Loser, who was on loan, who went over from, was it Nantes or something like that from France?
Oh,
They've got a few
yeah. I know
players
that guy.
that could be half decent. Let's have a look at Watford and see who's on there. But yeah, there's a few Watford cards available, isn't there? You look at it now.
Never checked.
Whether or not they'll be of any use or not, we'll find out. But you'd fancy them to do well next season. Teams that go down from the Prem
Yeah.
tend to do quite well the next season, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
In general, unless they're Sunderland.
Yeah.
But they're
Or
back up
somebody
in the
just
Championship
die.
next season as well, aren't they? So they got back there
Are they? That
eventually.
good?
Got back there. I was just having a little look at. You just mentioned Tony there, and now while he's not here, we can have a look at his gallery. He has been on a spending spree, hasn't he? He's bought
I've not looked
so
at his
many
gallery since we
cards.
spoke yesterday.
Oh my god, he has bought. I'm just like, you go down one page, and he's just bought. The last 10 days, he's bought about 12 rares, 18 rares, something silly like that. He's picked up quite a few Asia cards, I've noticed. He did a message into our group chat, didn't he? And I mentioned that Shin Jin Ho would be a good pickup for midfield. He's picked up a Shin Jin Ho, Pohang,
Nice.
Yoshinori Muto. So he's going in on the Asia teams. Gubon Chol, he was one that I picked up pre-season. Had a tip off from a friend who'd like watched some highlights of him, and then he just didn't play for like ages. And then about 5 games ago, they just started playing him, and he's been banging goals in. Came in off the bench in the last
Class.
game, which was a bit unexpected, but I'd expect him to start again next week. I've got him in my U23 D2 lineup, so I'm hoping he starts. He's picked up Sergio Busquets. That's a bit of a surprising pickup. What do you reckon to
Quite
that one?
solid, but
I
solid
guess
all-star card, I would say.
he's still the main centre mid at Barca, isn't he?
Yeah.
If you're gonna, has Tony got? What's Tony's like champ Euro saying? Has he got options there to play next to that, or do you think that's more of an all-star?
I guess a global play. Yeah, I think it's an all-star card.
Just having a little look now at where he's at. I feel like, like on the Sorare Data podcast, sometimes I do like a.
I think the idea is to play Busquets with Iniesta and All-Star. That'd be some pairing there.
Just for
It's a good
old
All-Star
time's
pairing.
sake.
That's a lot of fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Put like the old school
Busquets and
Barcelona
Iniesta.
lineups there.
Get a Suarez on or something, or get Messi, or
Yeah.
don't need to get Messi for All-Star, but
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Yeah. I think if you're gonna buy Messi and you're not playing him in Champ Euro,
a pro needs to be
crazy.
a D3 Messi. Messi's a D3 card only. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Definitely one of them. You bought you picked up a Diogo Souza, I saw, the goalkeeper. You've mentioned him a few times.
That's a giveaway.
That's for the giveaway, yeah.
I'm good.
Are you still feeling like he might
away.
get some minutes next season? Is he someone that you're expecting to get some game time? They've picked a few goalkeepers
So they have
up, haven't they?
We'll wait and see what happens with pre-season or whatever. But I don't know. I looked at the guys that are on the list now, and I say there's only one guy that has any real, I think, credentials of fighting them. As it stands, if they go and sign somebody else, then again, back to the drawing board. I'm just going to go pull it up just so I'm not misquoting stuff.
Checking your own truth now. You've got some.
So
You've made some pretty good. You've made some pretty big signings in the last couple of weeks. Vinicius Souza.
Yeah.
You went in there.
Yeah, just with the speculation at Celtic. I had to, man.
You just couldn't risk it not having one if he goes to Celtic, yeah? I mean, he's been heavily
never get
linked
him at
to
that
PSV.
price if he goes to Celtic.
I'm seeing PSV.
Yeah, but
as well,
it's quite a safe play for me because, like, if he does go to PSV, then he's arguably more valuable because at Celtic his minutes will be in question to some extent. Whereas at PSV, if he goes there, I think he's replacing Sangar, who will leave, so he'll be guaranteed to play.
I'd agree.
So I think it's a good play for me. I've picked him up cheap, I think, for what the outcomes could be for him.
This is not a bad shout. Like was it 0.8 you paid for him, just over?
Yeah,
Oh no,
something like
point
that. I could.
0.849, and you got a limited as well, just in case. Yeah, he's a card I
Just
was looking at last season. I just think I felt like I missed the boat. You know, when you like you don't pull the trigger on a transfer and you leave it and leave it and leave it, and then you realise you should have just done it then because it doesn't stop going up. He was one of those cards. Um, you just when you find someone early, it's horrible to then go and pay like double what you should have just paid in the first place. That was the thing for me of Lee Han Bomb, which was part of the reason I bought the unique. I was like, I let way too many rares and super rares go. There was no way I was going to let that unique go before he kind of like was a little bit more recognizable, I guess, by Asia players. And having seen him played a few times, I thought he looked decent. So I'm quite happy that I managed to pick that up. Still, I'm still like I feel like I'm a unique short. Have you got 3 uniques yet? Are you at that in that position?
no, I'm still stuck at two. I'm waiting to see what Dennis Suarez does because he's should be leaving. But the last report I was reading, I get all sorts of notifications now from like the Celta Vigo like, local press. See, whenever they put something that Google can find and send me a notification for, and it's all Google translating these mad Spanish, and it's like you're the local newspaper of this little Spanish town. Anyway, Dennis Suarez is talking about maybe trying to build the bridges back and staying there. I don't think he's had too many great offers outside of there.
Mm,
So I want to see what region he's going to land in before I go and buy my next unique. And I'm not in any rush to buy my third one. I'd rather try and win my third one with the two I've got somehow, if at all
nice, yeah.
possible. But
It's hard to win the uniques,
I'm
isn't
not in
it?
any
Unless
rush
you've got like, I mean, there are uniques given out in some of the D2s at the moment, aren't they? I noticed this weekend that Asia
on the
and
fly.
America
Yeah.
they add one, don't they? So if you can win that division, you're laughing. But what about like, have you like had your referral reward? Have you done enough? You must have done enough down the years of doing your content. Did you get your
No, I
unique?
don't. The affiliate thing works totally different to the refer a
Oh, of
friend thing,
course
so
it
you don't
does.
get
Yeah,
free cards or anything.
that's it. Oh
Um,
yeah.
But so I actually put the refer a friend thing on for like a few videos because when they did the tier 2 MLS thing, I don't know if you remember that, but they said for a while if you did refer a friend, you'd guarantee a tier 2 MLS card. And that was
Yeah.
the better thing. So I thought I made a video and I was like, listen, if you are there now, this is the better one to do for you kind of idea. And I
Mm.
think one person hit it or something.
I got
So
one actually. I don't get many. I don't post my link up very very often, but um, I think I met someone at a crypto conference thing that I had to talk on recently, and he came up to me and was like, the next day he messaged me on Discord and was like, "Good meeting you yesterday. I'm really, I want to get into so rare, like." And he's like, "You could I jump on a call for like half an hour?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So jumped on a call with him, and this guy had really done his research. He had like a spreadsheet that he shared his screen with on me. He was like, "So this is what I'm
nice.
thinking," and his selections were on point. I was like, "Mate, if you are going in with that kind of budget and that's what you're looking at, I think you'll do well." So yeah, I got a I got a referral for that one, and I got who do I get? Place up front for Galaxy Limited, which has been quite useful as well. I kept him and I've been using him. Where is he? Raheem Edwards.
Oh, the left
Yeah,
back.
he's a forward card. Is he a left back?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's playing left back.
He's put up some decent scores. I haven't seen him play, but he's done all right for me, to be honest. Like being able to slot him in. Yeah, that explained because his all around's not too bad. You know, if he doesn't get a decisive, he scores into the 40s, which like is okay for a forward if they don't get a goal. But then if he does get a goal, you're looking at like 70s. So he's been all right. He's nicked a couple of decisives in recent weeks, so he's good for like the specialists and that. You need a forward who might, like he sort of like his average is under 50, but if he gets a decisive, he can easily be a 70 plus, which is good. I tell you what, my big purchase of recent was Tom Hay. You familiar with Tom Hay at Heerenveen?
Yeah. I can't remember where he
So
came up, but somebody brought him to my attention recently. He's a wee anomaly of a card that just appeared out of
yeah,
nowhere.
I was following him on there before they minted his cards because I'd seen. I saw him play because I've got a few Heerenveen cards. So I saw him play and I noticed he's on set pieces. And straight away I'm like, cool, he's like a defensive mid on set pieces. So he's like a Tony Kroos like
Jackpot.
sort of scorer. As soon as he come on, I thought he's going to fly under the radar here. I'm going to get an absolute gem. But as soon as he came on with like a dark green score next to his name, those first initial sort of auctions for him went crazy. And I remember I was in one of the one of the super rare auctions, and I thought I might be able to pick this up. I'll go up to like 2 for it. It went up to like nearly 5. I was talking to one of the other people that was bidding on it at the time because I was like, I went into Discord. I can't remember who I was talking to now, but I was saying, I've seen you bidding on this like card. Like, I think you've overbid like the most I was willing to pay. Like, good luck with him. I think he's going to be a big player. And a couple of hours later, when the auction finished, I went back into Discord to talk to the manager, and I was like, "Here's me and you thinking that it was not going to go that high. It ended up going for about five and a bit ETH. We thought he was under the radar, but he's clearly not. But I picked up a limited and a rare for next season. I think that he is a strong. Like if you look at his scores on Sorare data, Tom Hay, yeah, he's a matrix monster. I'm hoping he's going to do big things for a good opportunity in Challenger. I've got some good Challenger keepers that could potentially be swapped around for under 23, couple of under 23 Challenger keepers. So I think I should have a decent offering in Challenger next season. So I thought if I buy him, that just gives me like that potential to switch maybe Veerman into Challenger some weekends to just like have the differential because everyone's going to be using him in U23. If he looks like the player that we all hope he's going to be next season, him next to Tom Hay in midfield is like, I've got Bosniovic's back. He's been playing 90 minutes in all the preseason games, so he looks like he'll be fit for Heerenveen again next season. So yeah, little Heerenveen sandwich stack maybe.
The sandwiches are going to be happening.
They're going to be having sandwiches, mate.
Big Mac.
Definitely. Sandwich stack. So
got me freaking out about this Italia Sport keeper now, by the way.
Yeah.
There's another guy who looks all right, but yeah, I don't think so. He was on the bench all last year, and Diego Souza played cups and stuff like that. He's like, I think he's the next man to go.
Nice.
I think it's his job to lose. That's the way I look at it. But I'm not
going to look at the game week. So we are.
Yeah, definitely, man. The manager is Nouri Sahin.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember him.
Didn't he play for Dortmund, Sahin?
He played for Dortmund and Liverpool and Real Madrid. He was like going to be amazing and then got mad injured.
Yeah, he was like the youngest ever player in the Bundesliga or scorer, wasn't he, at one point?
Probably, yeah. He was class, wasn't he? Football manager of Antalyaspor, yes. Fantastic. When did he get the job? Sorry, I'll check into that later. That's good, man. I like that. That's a cool thing to follow. I like that.
What was that? A football manager thing?
Yeah, I like that Nouri Sahin. He's actually the manager of the team. So I think it's him and Emre. You know, the other guy who used to play for Inter Milan.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day, I don't know if you remember him. So that's quite cool if they're the number 1 and number 2.
Getting back into some more of the recent transfer market, I also did pick up that Luca Oyen we were talking about last week. I ended up doing. I seen all that bid in and ended up winning him. So I've got my Oyen back now. I paid about 3 times what I sold my last one for in terms of ETH, but he's there, and I've got I've put my money where my mouth is. So hopefully he does come good for me next season. And then I won a common of him literally a day later. My common reward was at Oyen, so I've got 2 right next to each other in my gallery now. Sat there.
That's beautiful.
Another one I picked up was Xander Clark. I saw him linked potentially to Stoke, and I kind of just like got excited and saw the auction and picked him up. Saw that he was linked to Dundee United as well, but apparently they made a contract offer, and he went a bit cold on it. So I don't know where he's going to end up now, but I think he's obviously got high expectations of where he wants to head.
The thing with Xander Clark as well and like St Johnstone, I'm not as close to this as as many other people maybe like even listen to this it would be, but St Johnstone won like they won so many cups over like 2 or 3 seasons. They like outperformed Rangers when Rangers first came back into the league. Like I think there was one year where I think they retained a cup. I think they maybe won the League Cup 2 years in a row, and then in the second year they might have done some sort of double or something. I can't remember the details yet, but anyway, he's probably fancying himself as like, I've won cups up in Scotland. Like I should get decent moves and I should get decent speculation. You know, like Seagrass got some decent speculation, and you probably thinks, no, I'm not going to move in Scotland. I'll move somewhere else, and I've kind of earned my stripes. And maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. Who knows? But I think he's like, yeah, he's a good keeper. Like, you know, came from even though it's St Johnson, it's kind of a little bit of it as well. Like they are a smaller club, but they've actually been really good under Callum Davidson, who's still there.
Yeah, what I've seen of him looks good. Like as you do, like you go and have a look at the highlight reel, and he makes some big saves. That one against, was it Rangers? I think was like done. That's done the rounds. It's all over the internet. But yeah, I think I'm trying to sort of like hold off buying anymore. It's hard because I do have a bit of an ETH balance there, but man, like prices are still going up. I find like, you know, like how we had the massive dip and things were like kind of finding their way back to what their sort of fiat values were. I mean, because ETH hasn't really picked back up that much, I think that we're seeing like more the valuations coming a little bit more close to what they were a few weeks ago in like fiat terms. But I guess also we're getting closer and closer to the season starting. A lot of clubs are doing their transfer business as well, so you can start to sort of figure out now. You know, if players are not being linked somewhere now, you probably think that they're probably going to stay because they're going on preseason training. You know, they're going on tours with clubs now. Obviously, like Dylan Levitt happened today, big one for me. He's obviously gone on a permanent to Dundee United, which I'm, as a United fan, gutted about, but as a holder of his unique, I'm ecstatic about. So, and also I think that's a good move for him as well, because I think it'll put him well in contention for the World Cup, which might give me an extra bit of utility. Who knows? I don't know how useful uniques will be to me without a goalkeeper playing in the World Cup, but you know, a little special Freakley in the World Cup.
Maybe Freakleys and stuff. Aye,
yeah.
Or a wee unique kickoff or something, maybe.
Yeah, something. There'll be some use for him, I'm sure. But yeah, I think that was one bit of good transfer news. Obviously, Tyrell Malacia went through Man United. Happy about the transfer as a United fan. Not so happy as a Malacia holder. But I do think if he has a good start, if he hits the ground running, he could edge Shaw. I think if Ten Hag wants to play higher up the pitch, higher tempo, Malacia's a much quicker mover of the ball than Shaw. Shaw is not shy of getting forward, but I just don't know if the system was there for him. But I think if Shaw comes back from pre-season super fit, then he would edge Malacia in the selection for me. But a good signing, I think. Like that's proper competition there. I think Tellez will be on his way out, which might be a potentially good pickup there, because he's got cards. His old Porto cards are still on the platform, aren't they? So if he goes back there, or if he ends up at another club in Europe, he could be a decent scorer, because he was a beast, wasn't he, in Porto?
Yeah, I picked up an Alex Tellez. I did it was the only time, maybe done it once or twice, but one of the best times where it was like, buy the rumour, sell the news. Like as soon as the first Fabrizio Romano tweet went out saying Tellez linked to United, I went out and bought one. And he was like a big scorer at Porto anyway. Like as you say, took pens and free kicks and all sorts. Was a killer. And then when it was like confirmed, everybody's like, "Oh, he's going to play at Man United." And I managed to. I can't remember the full details of the trade, but I think I made an ETH like back when ETH was like 300 quid or something. You know, it wasn't anything too mega, but it was always whenever I hear people say that, somebody mentioned it on some content recently. They buy the rumor, sell the news.
Yeah, that was kind of what I did with Bale. I picked up a Bale when I saw him being whispered to either go to the MLS or Cardiff. I thought either of those moves is going to send his price to the moon. So I think I picked Bale up at 0.45 or something. His floor's at like 7 now, something like that. So I'm still in two minds whether I keep him, because if he comes into this, if he plays that first game and he gets a goal and he looks like really fit and good, Like he could be on set pieces, he could be on pens, he
Mate,
could be
keep him.
on everything for LA.
Keep him.
You think
Keep him.
would you keep him? Yeah.
I've just did a video on every MLS club on my channel. They're on average about 6 minutes long. It's probably about 4 minutes of actual content in each of them between intros and all that. But, I make honestly, mate. See, after looking at everything the way it sits now, and number one, my opinion on the Bale transfer, right, is like, as we know, like when Bale was part of the team that won 3 Champions Leagues, right, that team was not like, they were a great champion, they were the best Champions League team, right, but they weren't like crushing the league and bending teams over all the time or anything. You know, they were ticking along, and in Europe they were just, you know, being class. And that's how the playoffs work in MLS. When you get to the playoffs, it's just like the Champions League knockout stages in terms of, like, you know, the kind of
Big player
the
mentality
arena you're
comes
in.
in. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what they want. They want him to come good to win MLS Cup. He wants to come good to win MLS Cup, because then he wins MLS Cup, takes 2 weeks off, and goes to Qatar, and he's high as a kite, showed up in America, bossed it, you know, and done all that. So I think, you know, if that's where they all want to see themselves going, then I think he plays every home game. I think the dodgy away games, he won't play them, like altitude and dodgy surfaces and whatever. But I think when he's playing, mate, he's likely for 100. You know, like,
Yeah. That's how I make it, because he's a good dribbler of the ball. He's going to pick up dribbles. He's going to be on set pieces.
It's all the team around him as well. Like, Insignia's going to be good, right? But Insignia's not got a team around him the way Bale has. You know, LA are much better than Toronto from a starting point, you know, of a guy like that coming in. So
I see that
Insigne will definitely need to carry that team, but which is also a nice kind of like detail in that. But
yeah, it's not a bad
when
chat. I see
Bale
that.
plays, you know, he's going to work.
That's it. They let Pozuelo go as well, haven't they? They let Pozuelo go to into Miami. What do you make of that transfer?
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good move for him for his SO5?
I think that'll be a fantastic move for Pozuelo. I think he goes back. I think he goes there and he's on all set pieces. I think he goes there and he's the main man in midfield in front of Gregor. And that Gregor is probably one of the best CDMs in the division. So putting him next to Pozuelo, like, and then I don't really know who else have been filling their team out. I've not watched as much. I watched too much Miami last year, and this year I've not watched them at all. So I feel like, you know, so I think it'll be a great move, to be quite honest with you. I still don't really know what the script is with Higuain or whatever. I know they're trying to get guys like Suarez in the door and whatever, but I don't know what's going on with Higuain. But I think Pozuelo, I think that will be a great move for him.
Yeah,
because Miami's all quite Latin as well and Spanish speaking and that kind of
true.
thing. So coming out of Canada and going to Miami, he'll probably jamming.
Feel a little bit more at home. Yeah, like the culture there's the Hispanic culture there, Cuban culture.
A Scarface.
It's nice. Yeah, the weather's going to be nice down there. Who wouldn't want to go and play into Miami? Let's be honest. Like, that's got to be a dream move for a lot of players. But especially, you know, like the players coming to the end of their careers. Like, Kieran Gibbs is a family friend of ours, so I was buzzing for him when I heard he was going to be moving to Miami, and like he's absolutely loving life out there. And like, who wouldn't? Like, you got the sun, you're next to the sea. The food's great out there. Like, just he's loving life. He said that his mum's like, I don't think he'll come back. I think he'll live there forever now. Like, I don't blame him. I'd be the same. I like Miami's great.
Yeah.
Shout out anyone locked in Miami, because we'll come and do a little live podcast out there. Me and Quinny. We'll see if Tony's allowed out for a week. We'll like join. He's like, he can do some warm weather training in pre-season next summer.
Aye, that's exactly it.
Yeah,
pre-season Miami style.
We'll do some training as well, but on the cocktails in the frozen cocktails on Ocean Drive, mate. I'll be our warm weather training.
That sounds good.
Sounds good, doesn't it? I've sold it to you, haven't I, Quinny? I can see the glint in your eye. I've seen you drinking them cocktails when you went to Barcelona, mate. Breakfast.
Yeah. So I'm not a big drinker, but like if I get, and this will sound way worse than what it actually is as well, but like if I'm going to drink, I'm going to get drunk, kind of thing. I'm not going to be a mess and be on the floor or anything, if you know what I mean. But like, you know, so that's kind of the way it goes. And like, I don't consume a lot of liquid, so I'm shots and cocktails. You know, I'm not going to drink 8 pints or something like that. You know,
I'm like the opposite. If I drink shots and cocktails, I'm banging trouble. I'm banging trouble. But at least if I drink pints, I drink a bit slower. but I still like consume the same amount of alcohol over the course of an evening. But I might last a bit longer than I would if I was drinking shots, because I don't stop. Like, I'm a bit like you. If I like have a drink, I'm gonna get myself in a bit of a merry state rather than just like have a drink to take the edge off or something like that. Like, don't
Yeah,
really go
I
to the
just
pub
have a
and have
kind of
one.
just
I'm not
yeah.
that guy. So speaking of which, you're coming to London in like a month. You're
Yeah,
gonna get on the
well,
shots.
basically a month today. Yeah, yeah. I already asked John in the Discord if they've got Patron behind the bar. He said they do. So if they've got the good tequila, it'll be a good night
Nice,
for sure,
nice.
man. I can't wait.
Yeah, that should be good. I'm gonna get out for that. I was talking to John about what he wanted to do afterwards, because it's in Waterloo, which anyone that doesn't know, in London, it's not like the vibiest of areas in terms of like nightlife, but you're not
Oh,
far away
really?
from lots of things. You know, Elephant and Castle, Brixton, not too far away. But to be fair, in London, you're only a tube ride away from most stuff. So if people are okay with getting on a tube for 15, 20 minutes, they won't be they won't be far away from a good time. But I'm
What's
excited.
the
I
one that
think that
begin? What's the one that begins with a C? That's like where all the trendy people go.
Camden,
Yeah,
Camden,
that one. How
Shoreditch,
far away is that? Yeah, how
Camden
far away is
from
that?
Waterloo. You go back on the Jubilee line once. Is it one? Yeah, one stop to London Bridge, and then change for the Northern line, and then I reckon it's about 20 minutes. So all in about half an hour away, not too far. But I think the problem is where
Okay.
the Sorare meet up that John's arranged, I think, finishes at midnight. By the time you get to Camden, like you leave, get on a train and get to Camden, you're getting on for like 1. And like by then, some of the stuff will be winding down a little bit. There are venues in Camden, like Camden Assemblies. There, if you're into like heavy rock
I'm
music, you've got
thinking
the
more for
World
the next
Team.
day, to be honest.
Oh, for the next day, yeah, for the next day, I
Yeah.
guess like there's lots of different
Or where would it be
spots.
good to go?
Yeah, where would it be
Yeah.
good to go? It's a good question. I think um, there's good pubs. Like you want to sit and watch football, soccer Sunday or something, soccer Saturday, right? It will be Saturday, wouldn't it? Be a
Yeah, yeah.
soccer special, like bit of I'm trying to think. There's loads of good spots. They're all kind of like dotted around, but I guess like there's a few in the sort of Fulham area. If you're in that end neck of the woods, like if you're in that kind of like west southwest Fulham area, and I think Fulham are playing Liverpool that day, so that everywhere will be rammed. So I'm not sure if that'll be like good or bad, depending on what kind of atmosphere you want. But Fulham has some good pubs that show the football down the King's Road. If you wanted to go somewhere with a bit more like I like Hackney's got like open space. That's right next to like the London Stadium where West Ham play. You've got the river there. You've got a lot of sort of like riverside bars and cafes. Not sure how many of them show football, but there's a couple of there's a venue called the Lot in Hackney Wick, which used to have the football on during the Euros, so maybe they stick it on there. But yeah, there's sports bars all over the place, dotted around. Yeah, London is a big city, which people will realise when they get here. Like there's so many areas that you could end up in, but most of those areas do have somewhere half decent to watch a bit of sport. You just got to try and plan around it as much as you can, I guess. Have you been to London
So
before, Quinny?
probably, yeah, I've been in London a few times. I used to have to go down for work like quite a lot. Well, not quite a lot, but like twice a year, once a quarter, kind of vibe. But yeah, so I'm kind of, I don't really, excuse me, I'm not a big fan of London. It's all right, but like I'm never like, oh, I need to go to London, or oh, I can't wait to go to London. It's just like I'm going to London on these dates for some reason, and like when I'm there, if I can maybe enjoy myself and that not cripple myself,
Yeah, I was
that would be
I
great.
was I was out in London last night, and I was spending £6 on a can of beer that was like as big as a can of Coke. £6, mate. Could not believe it. It was in
It's
Fabric, to
mental.
be fair, which is like, even though it's a daytime thing, it wasn't like I was out of Fabric till 6 in the morning, whatever. But Fabric is like one of the big nightclubs. But that is what you'd expect. That's what you're going to pay if you go into like Ministry of Sound, Fabric, Coco, you know, Brixton Electric, all them places. They're going to charge you £6 for like a tiny can of beer. So might want to avoid them if anyone's listening that's planning on travelling to London for uh, the Sorare meetup. It's August the 5th, isn't it? The Friday.
Yeah, Friday the 5th for the thing. And then I think we're just all going to hang about over the weekend at some fashion.
You know, if people are travelling into London, right, you wouldn't just go home the next day. So I guess,
Yeah. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a big game week because, again, we were chatting before coming on, but like lineup builder on Sorare Data has been my best friend for a little while. And so that'll be game week 294 when we're in London. And have I got a team I can put
that's
out?
exciting.
Yeah, I'll
I
have
mean,
Celtic are playing Ross County that weekend, so that's going to be a great weekend for me. Hopefully,
yeah. God, just
this should be
looking at it
good
now,
one.
it's mad. Like, it's actually mental seeing all your players. Like, you go into like that extra slot on All Star Rare Pro, and you can see pretty much everything in your gallery.
Oh,
I mean, that
it's class in it.
I forget what that
It's not
feels
far
like,
away.
setting up that many teams. Like, crazy.
It feels like a forgotten time, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I was teased then. I just went to the bottom of like my sort of list of players, and I see like Ulysses Lanes, who we were talking about the other week, and it's like he's got a fixture, and I'm like, wait, hold on a minute, I thought he went to, but no, it's just, you know, like sometimes they've got those glitches where at the moment it will show
It's
like
the wrong
my
team.
Al Tanaka keeps showing up in my game week as like available, but he
Same.
plays in Germany in league in the Bundesliga too, so he's not actually available, and I think that's the same with Lanes. He's showing up as a Wolfsburg player again, but he's off on loan to the Austrian second division again, I think. I forget, there's players I forget as well. Looking at this, Maxim Hullet, he will probably be
Oh
back
yeah.
from injury. I wonder if he's playing in a pre-season. I haven't checked out how he's getting on, but yeah, I bought him
So
ages
the thing
ago,
with
and
pre-season is goalkeepers. There's some goalkeepers been really need to watch out for in pre-season because things can change quickly. You know.
yeah, I mean Hullet plays. He's a left back, so he's.
Don't know why I thought we were talking about goalkeeper. Sorry.
Oh right, yeah. No,
Don't
Hullet's
know why.
he's a left back. There's no news. There's nothing coming up under news on him, so I'm assuming he's not played any pre-season just yet. But I think he might still be recovering. To be honest, I don't think he's anyone I'll be playing anytime soon. Let's have a look at this. 6 days ago. Oh no, it just mentions that he plays for Cambuur, but he's not. He's not playing in preseason still. But I think preseason coming up. Have you been keeping an eye on? Because I got an offer for one of my Celtic cards yesterday.
Oh,
Kenny.
which one?
Kenny
Oh,
scored
I
two
bet, man.
goals, didn't he?
Should have been a hat trick. I've not seen them back yet, but Julian stole his goal apparently. But he'll get loaned out at best. Like I wouldn't. Preseason
No, I'm
doesn't
not
change
expecting
anything. Like
anything of him. I'm hoping for a
Owen
loan. That was
Moffat
kind of
last preseason scored like 6 goals or something, and he played in the B team all of last year. So, like,
yeah.
yeah, I
Have you
wouldn't
had any
get
chance to
too
watch him play
excited.
at all? The main reason I
Kenny,
picked him
no.
up. The main reason I picked him up was I was reading an article. I was searching for information on Nene Dorjales when I won him, and it was an article about who does Salzburg replace Karim Adeyemi with when he goes, and they sort of like picked out players that kind of like fit the sort of the play style and the matrix, and they said like Dorjales is like the closest fit to him in the Salzburg sort of markup, but obviously he's not quite there in terms of his development just yet. But they picked out this Johnny Kenny, who was at Sligo in Ireland. So obviously you can't really compare when you're playing in a division like that. But they said like his attributes and the way his style of play is quite similar. So I thought, let me just like give him a search, and I thought I'll give him a follow on Sorare. I didn't realise he'd gone to Celtic, so I just picked his card up speculatively for like £100, purely on the basis that he might get a loan out. I mean, do you remember when it leaked on the Sorare Discord ages ago that they had like the Irish Premier League? Someone found like the Irish
No,
Premier League cards in the like API.
no way. I don't remember
That was
that.
like ages
Really?
ago though, so it never came. They never came out, but we're talking probably over a year ago that this happened. So they must have the license because they had the card. People had pictures of the cards and stuff of the players. Like they were there. They existed in the Sorare like API.
Yeah, I
Like they
really
had
don't remember
URLs
that.
and everything. So, you know, if he does get loaned back to Ireland or something like that for a bit, because I can't see him getting loaned to like a championship or a covered side. Probably not. You
Hmm.
know, he might be like a League Two or something like that, loanee. So it might be a
Yeah,
while before I get some utility out of him, but you never know. I think that we'll see some coverage expansion. There's a lot of rumours floating about that the Australian is it the A League over there? There's talk. People are whispering that is like ready to go. Someone spotted something in the API that suggests that the Australian A League will be covered. Is there any?
Champion Asia's overdue a new division.
Yeah, definitely. I'm down for any divisions that add a bit more utility in the sort of European close season as well, because it's been a bit dry this summer. I've been waiting for the European leagues to open back up again, and I've got quite a few Asia and America cards, but it's not quite the same as like when you've got all the divisions open. And I suppose like with the World Cup this December, I haven't had a proper look at the way that the leagues, but I'd imagine like Asia and America will close pretty much the same time. They'll finish at the time that all of the European divisions will go on break, right? So then when we come back off the break, do you think that some of those Asian and American divisions will start up their next season? Because they normally start in Feb, don't they? If I remember rightly.
I'm not too sure what the return plan is, to be quite honest, because I know that, I don't know, because I know like America, for example, have like kind of planned their whole year around ending at Qatar, ending for Qatar. And I think especially like the J and the K, I think they've done a lot of good kind of calendar planning in that sense as well. So I think it's with the intention of, after all the crap over the last 2 or 3 years with COVID and whatever, after the World Cup, they can all go back to normal, like completely normal now. Everything's all kind of a bookend almost, you know.
Yeah, that's just the vibe I get. I think I just wonder. Yeah, it might be that like after the World Cup, we don't actually have too much downtime. We might have like a couple of weeks after the final, but then I'd imagine like maybe like towards the end of January, maybe. What's the finals on the 18th of December, isn't it? So then we might have a little break for Christmas, and then maybe things will start to open back up. Because I'd imagine the Premier League will still probably put football on like New Year's Day or something like that. So they might only give it like, I haven't actually looked. You can probably see this already, right? Premier League fixtures.
I think it'll just have them all in like the match day. You'll know who's playing in Christmas on roughly what day. But I think for the TV, I think they wait closer to the time before they start picking.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
when England win the World Cup and we come home, give us a little bit of chance to calm down again before.
That's it.
Who do you fancy for the World Cup?
I was actually thinking about this the other day. I want to say Spain, but I don't think it was Spain. That's who I was thinking about. It was somebody a wee bit kind of more left field. It's actually escaping me now.
I think Portugal could be a dark horse. Portugal could surprise people.
Portugal definitely could. I really do think Brazil will win it. I think that's part of, really. But I was thinking about somebody different the other day. I can't remember who it was, but I really think Brazil are my favourites. I think they're favourites for it.
Yeah.
I think they've got such a good squad.
We might have had this discussion before, actually. Didn't you make a point of like the warm weather, like playing a World Cup in a warm weather country as well? I was reading the other day that like all the stadiums are going to have like air conditioning blown into the pitch as well. Did you know about that? I wonder how cold that's going to be.
All the stadiums are like proper, like contained little ecosystems. They've done everything they can. They've absolutely, obviously, a lot of people have like died in the construction of it and that, but they have like put in every piece of technology to make it as comfortable for Westerners to go there as possible.
Mad, yeah. So, just looking now at the Premier League fixtures, they've actually got fixtures scheduled for Boxing Day. So the players are going to get like no time off because the 18th is the World Cup final. So they have 8 days off before they play. Yeah.
And the Prem? Oh, that's brutal.
I was thinking, I was going to say it and I thought, they won't. They'll definitely like have Boxing Day. But then I thought, nah, the World Cup final is only literally just over a week before it. But they have. They've got fixtures scheduled Boxing Day. Arsenal, West Ham, Crystal Palace v Fulham, Everton, Wolves, Leeds, Man City, Man United, Nottingham Forest. Yeah, it's a full day of fixtures on the 26th, and then again on the on New Year's Eve, Monday the 2nd of Jan. So they're not there's no hold up really. And when does the season finish? Does it finish? No, it finishes the 28th of May. So pretty much normal. Players are going to be absolutely shattered at the end of the season. When you factor like Champions League into it. None. There's not even a winter break, is there? Let's have a look. So wait, September, October, November. Okay, so there is a break. Mind you, no, not for long, because like the 12th of November. When does the World Cup start? That they maybe only got
the
like a week.
14th.
Yeah, mate, it's literally like I'm sure it's something like that, right? It does start in
If the
November.
final's on the 18th of December, it can't be like, I think,
Yeah.
how long's the tournament? 5 weeks?
They've got to change these fixtures, surely. They're going to have no break at all. And they want us to win the World Cup.
Mental.
Oh, it's not coming home, is it? It's not coming home.
Nah, definitely not. But Brazil's, that's what I think.
Brazil bring it home. Well, we'll see a bit close to the time, but mate, what have you?
It
What have
may
you
not
got?
be a bad time to back an African team for the World Cup, like a Senegal or
Would love to
a
see
team
that.
like that.
You're not. Yeah,
Like,
it's not a bad shout. I mean, I haven't looked. I haven't got the groups in front of me, so I can't sort of see like what the route would be for an African side. But yeah, I think we can't be far off an African side winning the World Cup. There's some good sides
especially
out
in
there.
Qatar, like
Yeah, some good
yeah.
sides. So the game week ahead, what's your main aim this weekend? What are you targeting?
I'd love that specialist team to come off, but otherwise, like the specialist sandwich.
Special sandwich.
But I've got an okay little underdog team going out as well, but otherwise, like the other 4 squads have been the same squads I've played for the last month, and I just need them all to do well and play. A few of them are playing each other this game week. I've got Sebastian Leggett in the same team as some New York cards, and they're playing each other, so get a wee bit messy this game week. But I'm just pulling pages off the calendar, just waiting for us to get to game week 292. That's where
It'll be in
my
no
gallery
time.
gets.
What's that? 3 weeks away or something?
Yeah,
I'm going on
there,
holiday in a couple of weeks, and I'm hoping I've got like decent Wi-Fi. I'm going to be so annoying on holiday. My missus is going to hate me. I'm like,
it's brutal.
she's going to realize the extent of like time that gets put into like putting these lineups together. Like while I'm on holiday, I'll be sat at the breakfast table for the deadline and that, doing my putting my teams in. I might be able to get a few referrals on while I'm out there if I just like let
Down at the pool.
everyone see what I'm doing. Breakfast.
Yeah. Picking my teams, getting set.
Yeah. I've actually got 10 teams entered this weekend. 10.
10? Well, I've got 7, including limiteds, yeah.
Yeah, including limiteds. I don't think I've done a casual
7.
league. But yeah, I've got
a
half decent underdog actually this weekend. I got an underdog rare as well. Like I was listening what we were talking about the other week actually. After he won the Mignon, I was like, I need to have a look at this underdog rare league now properly. And my underdog rare league is something I'm quite excited about for this weekend. I've got Jo Hyun-woo in goal, the Ulsan keeper. He's got a clean sheet in him. Yuichi Maruyama, Gamba and Grampus. He's capable. He hasn't quite hit the heights of like his pre-injury scores, but he's a starter. You'd expect him to score over 45. Kim Min-woo, who plays in the Chinese Super League, he's picked up like goals and assists in the last few games. I've got my captain Brenner, who's on fire at the moment, comes in at and his L15 is under 50, so still just about. And Federico Girotti. So I look at that on paper. I'm quite quietly excited about that. I feel like that's possibly the best underdog rare team I've entered, and having Hyun Woo there, he'd normally go into like maybe an all-star or something like that. But I've got Alfredo Talavera that I'm making use of him for my rare all-star team this weekend. I see like one of my teams is a bit of a punt. I've got like an America Pro team that's got Nick Marsman in goal, who I don't think is fit yet, and Gareth Bale up front, who is not fit yet either, I don't think. So that is almost a throwaway team. It's almost a training team entered purely on the off chance that they all play. But yeah, 10 teams. God, I've got a lot of football to follow this weekend. So yeah, it looks like we're both looking at the underdog or the specialist. Then a bit of luck. Yeah. Hopefully, one of us will pick up a decent reward. I'll take a
underdog rare team as well, but it's just throwaways.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my
price pool's tasty, but your team sounds good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. And an All-Star Pro, I need to maybe at the moment I've got Shooter Abe in there, and he missed the last game, so I probably need to like take him out. I'm not sure like how severe his injury is, but I don't really want to risk him in the All-Star Pro. So I've got Cecilia captain there, Raul Gustavo, Iwanami super rare, Sagino super rare. So that should be a good entry. I just need to swap Abe out for someone who is more likely to play, I think, just to play it a bit safer. But yeah, I think this is probably one of the best game weeks I've had in a while in terms of like a bit of potential to maybe win something. But yeah, a little bit of shuffling left.
Teams are really strong.
Yeah, they're looking half decent. It's always good when you've got like some strong team. I'll tell you what, just looking at like who I might be able to swap Abe with is Edwin Cirillo at Dallas, but he's been in and out of the side. Brian Gutierrez, he got a goal last week. Maybe I'll swap him. But again, he's one of those who can easily be on the bench. But the fact he came off the bench and scored last week, maybe he starts this week. I don't know. But yeah, I've definitely got to have a little look at some injury updates, I think, before I hit go on these. They're kind of like drafts at the moment. But yeah, I think I should be a decent little game week. Not long now until
I'm excited for it.
Roll on the European League's opening. Not long to go.
Every deadline I get excited for it because it's like, right, that's one more down. We're getting one more game week closer every time. So
I wonder how many weeks we've got to wait for Tony to return. See what he's up to when he's finished his pre-season.
I think it'll be the end of pre-season, when they get out of boot camp, they get back into the general public again.
He's lost all the holiday weight. He keeps going on holiday, that guy, doesn't he? He's away all the time in a minute.
That's it. Now they're taking him away.
Yeah, he's been back to and from Marbella more times than the cast of Towie this last couple of weeks, I think. So we need to remind him where he's got, might be pre-season training over there but the end product needs him back. We need him back in the studio, supplying us with banter and the stories of his wildly fluctuating trades on players in and out of his squad, which is always entertaining to see who he's chasing in the transfer market. But hopefully we won't have too long to wait. Hopefully we'll be back soon.
So Stish, I can't wait to see how your underdog team gets on. I've got a lot of faith in it. I've got a good bit of confidence. I love the Brenner play. Good luck for this game week, mate.
Yeah, and you. I'll be keeping an eye out on your position in the tables, and hopefully this time next week we'll be celebrating a big star tier win with a bit of luck between the two of us. One of us has got to do it, surely.
I'm due a wee bit of luck with some of my guys as well. Good luck to everyone listening. Have a great game week, and we'll catch you next week.